So, a student brought up the problem with OASZap. This is the problem with free products. They keep changing things, sometimes disastrously. So in OASZap, I've got it all running here. You take, let me find my Opera browser where I should have it. Here it is. Oops. There. So I'm running the OAS Juice Shop here. I've got a Google Cloud machine running, and I've got, here. There's a few things to show you. So I'm running it here. I'll just stop it and restart it. Clear. I've got the OAS Juice Shop original folder, and you run it with npm start. So it runs, and now it's going to get going and tell you it's now listening on port 3000. So the OAS Juice Shop is running on my server in the cloud here. All right, let me shove that aside. And now I can view it here. There's the OAS Juice Shop, so I can dismiss this and I can refresh this page. And there it is. The OAS Juice Shop is in fact running to be available. So now I'm going to scan it with Zap. So I launch Zap, which used to be called OASZap and is now just called Zap. And here it comes. Launching. I just updated it to the latest version, which is what caused the problem for a student. The earlier version worked better for this project than the latest version. But I found the fix, and that's actually instructive, showing features to use in Zap that I wasn't aware of. All right, so here's OASZap. And so, one way to scan this thing is to go to the automated scan and put in this URL of my site, which is going to be here. So here's the site running in Opera. I copy the URL. I put it in here. And then I'm not quite sure what that crazy pound stuff is at the end. I trim that off. So there's the home of the site. And now you don't want to use the traditional spider. It turns out this site is an AJAX site. It uses JavaScript a lot like modern websites. So you have to use the modern spider with Firefox headless. So I could attack it now, and I guess I can do that. But when I do it, this is going to take like 20 minutes. It's going to spider the site, and the spidering won't take too long. And in fact, I think I'll let it run through that. And then it's going to start doing the attack when the spider is done. And you can see it here as you expand it. Here's the site. And here's the rest is what I want. And here's the products. And there's the search. It already found the search page. So that's all I really want. So I want to stop this. All right. What's going to happen now, if you run this, is it's going to spider the site, and then it's going to test the site with the default set of tests. And the default set of tests in the previous version would find the SQL injection, but now it won't. That's what the student said. I ran the test, and what I said here was, there, go find this SQL injection down here, which is the most important vulnerability in my opinion, and analyze that, and that's how you find the flag. 15 alerts, including a SQL injection. But when I updated Zap to the latest version, it finds only 14 alerts without the SQL injection. So that's rude, and I found out how to fix it. They didn't break it so the tests don't work. They just seem to have made it so the test we need is not the default. So you have to adjust the scan strength in the Scan Policy Manager. So I'm going to do that because it also makes the scan much faster, because I'm also going to limit the scan to just look at this one location here, the search for SQL injection. And that, of course, is a much faster scan. So what you do, you go to your menu bar, which is at the top left on my Mac, and click Analyze. All right, this thing is Analyze Scan Policy Manager. All right, it's... all right, here we go. All right, here's the Scan Policy Manager. And as you can see, I've made a SQL injection policy. I'm going to remove it and make another one. Remove. I'm sure I want to remove it. Okay, we were using the default policy, which is default settings. But now we're going to add a new one, which I'll call SQL. I have to give it a name. I'll call it SQLi. And see, now it does default of all these different categories. First, I want to remove all the old stuff. So I'll turn it to off for everything and go. Okay, now all the scans are off. Now I go to injection, and here I can see the detailed test it's going to run. And the problem is the SQL injection, it's not that it was, the default threshold is okay, but the strength is low. Apparently, they made the test we need into something that is not at the default strength, it's at the high strength. So you have to set each of these to default high for all the SQL injection options. Probably the only thing that matters is the SQLite for what we're doing here, but I just set all the SQL injection because it turns out that if all you do is test for SQL injection, it's really pretty fast. Press H twice. There we are. So now all the SQL injections are turned on to their default threshold, whatever that is, and their strength is set to high. And now I save that, and I scan just this one place where I know the vulnerability is. So right-click, attack, active scan. And now instead of taking 20 minutes, it's not going to take long at all. It's going to take just a few seconds because it's only going to have to try what looks like maybe 50 or 100 requests. And by the way, while that's going, it's kind of fun to see. Let's see. Here. Did you see it all go by here? You see the console of your Linux box shows all these funny things coming through, and often a lot of errors created by it. These are the various injections containing apostrophes and special characters it's using to hunt for those SQL injections. And I think it's done. Or maybe it's not done. But anyway, let's look at the alerts and see. It hasn't found it yet, but I think it is going to find it. Well, it found it earlier. Progress manually stopped. Current scan 0. Well, it worked when I did it earlier. Now I'm still not seeing the SQL injection there. So maybe you really have to finish the first one first before it'll show up here. Or is there some way to refresh? View. Active scan. Well, that's annoying. Well, anyway, if you run the full scan first and then this, it worked. Maybe it has something to do with the spider or something, although it should have worked. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. That is the cure that worked for me. After running the 20-minute scan, I then went and did this intent scan for just those items, and the SQL injection vulnerability did show up as it should over here, so you can eject it. So hopefully that'll help you, and it does show a little more of the inside working of OASZap. So that's all I wanted to show you.